Good morning. I'm Major General Drew Davis, retired from the Marines and now the Executive Director of the Reserve Officers Association. And on behalf of ROA, we welcome all of you, our distinguished panel and guests, to what I think will be a challenging and interesting forum, defense education forum, on a topic of global importance. You are now at the top of the hill conference facility of ROA, and I'm going to start off with an unashamed commercial for this facility, which is obviously at a great location, despite the parking, but we do make it available for groups, events, conferences, and the like. So if your organization has an interest in drawing a crowd of Congress people that's not during recess, this is a great place to be. We hold our defense education forums here, as many as 70 a year, and we're taking them on the road. Our very capable Director of Education, Robert Fiedler, has an ambitious program this year that actually includes, this is another shameless plug, that actually includes a National Defense Studies voyage, which will leave the port of Boston on August 19th, be at sea for 3 days of forums on defense policy, and then reach the port of Halifax, Nova Scotia for a day of portside activities and tours of that very rich historical port city. So if a combination of cruise, relaxation at sea, mental stimulation, an MRE lunch, an optional fitness boot camp appeals to you, and a military film festival in the evenings. If that appeals to you, go on our roa.org website, and there's a very good link that will take you to the brochure, and there's a video of the cruise, and we hope to see some of you there in August. There's also a video on our website about ROA and the great effort and sacrifice that reserve warriors, twice the citizen soldiers, Marines, airmen, sailors have done in the last 10 years. And this video was produced by the video company that's filming this today, Primitive Media Philadelphia. So we're delighted to have them here as well. This is the 12th program, Bob tells me, over the past 4 years that we've co-sponsored with the Foreign Policy Research Institute. And we've had a whole range of topics that we've covered, from defense and issues of diplomacy. Today's topic, as I said, is particularly global in its scope, and that is energy, the environment, and security in Asia. We're going to cover such subjects today as Japan's emerging energy and environmental challenges, the big force in the room, China, and its policies for use of carbon fuels and renewable energy sources, and exploration for energy sources in Asia, including the Lower Mekong Initiative. The International Energy Agency not too long ago announced that China has overtaken the United States as the world's largest consumer of energy, and it continues to grow at the rate of 8 to 9% annually, and its energy needs are exploding as a consequence. China has aggressively sought out supplies of oil and other resources around the world to ensure its future supply, and is doing business in all hemispheres, including Iran, Venezuela, Cuba, Brazil, and Sudan, all of which have security implications to the United States. From 2005 to 2007, I had the privilege of commanding U.S. Marine Corps forces in Europe and Africa. And everywhere I went on those two continents, I bumped into Chinese emissaries who were doing diplomatic and military-to-military missions in countries that we have vested interests. Simultaneously, China has become a world leader in some forms of alternate energy, such as solar. Production and export of solar panels, notably, is one which has had a political impact, if not an economic impact, on the United States. It's also the largest, on the flip side, it's also the largest emitter of greenhouse gases, according to some studies. So energy is undeniably at the core of any nation's development, with the stakes being very high for economic development and the maintenance of a clean environment. I had the chance to meet some of the panelists, and I can assure you that at least two of them are very well prepared, having academic backgrounds at the vaunted Princeton University, where I also went many years before either of them. And I always like to tweak our FPRI partners on this. They have a Pennsylvania background as well, so we're refighting some of the basketball wars here on the panel. I think you'll enjoy this panel. I think it will be intellectually enriching, professionally enriching, I hope, and help enlighten a problem of great significance for this nation and the globe. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome the first panel, and its moderator, Jacques Delisle. Jacques, it's yours. All right. Please. Welcome again.
All right, thanks. Thanks so much. It's great to be back at the Reserve Officers Association for another collaborative venture, which FPRI has done, I gather, a dozen. I didn't know that count in the last 4 years. I wanted to welcome everyone on behalf of Alan Luxembourg, the president of FPRI, who can't be with us today. I'm Jacques Delisle, the director of the Asia program at FPRI, and also a professor of law and political science at Penn. I did go to Princeton, so it's okay. I can be on both sides of the basketball war. Sorry, Eric, it's an all-Princeton panel. Anyway, it's a pleasure to be here for the second Asia Program conference we've done in less than a year here. We were here in November for a conference on contested terrain, China's turbulent peripheries, maritime and land-based. The papers from that conference will be appearing in the next issue of Orbis, the September issue of Orbis. So if you're interested in that, you can also find a lot of material on the Asia Program on our website. I'll put in the shameless plug, www.fpri.org. But today's conference is every bit as important as our last one on the issues along China's periphery. It's about energy, environment, and security. As you've heard, I won't go into the details. Our panelists will certainly speak to those. So I just wanted again to thank everyone for being here. For those of you who haven't yet fled in anticipation of Easter or Passover, and those of you who can get up at 9 o'clock and get here, get up well before 9 o'clock, get here, we appreciate it. And Alan, our president, has also asked me to make sure that you know there's information about FPRI on the tables. Enough commercials. I don't want to eat any further into our substantive panel time here, except to say that as has been the norm with FPRI Asia conferences, and as I'm sure will be true at least as much and possibly more so today, we've gathered a truly extraordinary collection of participants, both paper givers and commentators, and in the best FPRI tradition, we have academics who are capable of thinking in policy terms, and policy practitioners and policy commentators who have some academic depth and gravitas. So I think you're going to have a terrific session today, and let's launch into it. I'll just go back over there and put on my other hat and introduce today's panel.